Sometimes we can get stuck in habits, some good and some bad, and you might be wondering where to start if you want to make some changes. So Judy Wright is here to discuss that with us today while using a book, How to Change the Science of Getting from Where You Are to Where You Want to Be by Katie Milkman. Judy, what about this author's book initially caught your attention?
Well, I really liked it, Janelle, because it's evidence-based. She took a look at lots of different areas where people are struggling, and then also where they were struggling but they were having success, and she kind of pulled it apart through research and kind of looked at that. And then she did a really good job of helping people simplistically to understand what some of these barriers or blocks were and how to kind of apply solutions for that. And, you know, most of us kind of are good at kind of being able to read things and find solutions, but then we're trying all this kind of stuff and it's not working. So she kind of did some connecting the dots as to why that's not and how to help us.
Right. Well, that sounds fantastic. And what are a few of the ways that this book goes about making those changes?
So one thing she did is she took a look at, again, things that were bothering us, and rather than just throwing the whole kitchen sink at things, she started to pull it apart and look for patterns. And she said, okay, what kind of block would be able to be solved with maybe this solution, and help people to discern that as they're reading the book and figure out which one's kind of blocking them. And then she used her background in engineering and psychology, which is kind of a cool little background, and she looked at a lot of different patterns, a lot of different ways that through research that it really became effective. And then she identified, you know, blocks that we're probably pretty familiar with and solutions, so things like getting started, impulsivity, procrastination, laziness, forgetfulness, and you know, maybe some lack of confidence.
Right. All right. And before we wrap things up here, what are a few of the ways that you can implement in your own life to move past some of these roadblocks? Yeah.
So she took a look at a big thing that we all kind of participate in is New Year's. Everybody does New Year's resolution. They get to the gym. So she's kind of wondering how come we're doing that. And what she found is that we don't, as people, register time temporally. We do it more in blocks and chapters and pages, starts and stops. So she said if we naturally use that as a way of kind of tricking the brain to kind of say, hey, it's a new beginning, it helped us to kind of put all the kind of blocks and barriers behind us and sort of give that fresh start. The only place that it didn't work is if we're already being successful, we don't want to keep jump starting it.
Yes, well, that makes perfect sense. Thank you so much for being here, Judy. This was so great to chat with you about.
You too.